Hey, welcome. This is Mark again. I will jump right into this. The cast here. Too much force in the hands of one man. Yes, if President of the United States gets too much power, or anybody gets too much power in the government, they tend to use it or go overboard with it. So too much force, too much power in one man is not good. I think today that is the case with our current president, President Trump. I think today we got too much power, or even President Obama had too much power in the presidency. I think we have gone way beyond too much power for the president because Congress gave him the power because they want to deal with it. And I think that's wrong. I think we've given way too much power to the president of the United States, and we need to put that power back into Congress's hands. And Congress needs to start making decisions collectively, and they need to start doing the job, I guess is the word to use, and stop passing it on to one man. That's a very dangerous thing to be doing. We have a representative government, and it is supposed to be deciding our fate, not one man, the President of the United States. And that's why we have the Constitution. That's why we have a Congress, two houses of Congress. They're the ones that are supposed to be deciding the fate of the United States and thus the world, not one man. Okay, tell me what you think about that. If you think it's what's going on here, or of a few uncountable magistrates or judges. So today, I think we do have a problem with the judges. Today, they legislate off the bench. They change our laws. People vote in a law, and then the judges can turn it down. They can interpret the law how they want it, not just read the law and accept what's there. And then now the attempt to put conservative judges on the bench, and the conservative judge goes, oh, we're going to keep whatever laws, bad laws are on the books, we're going to keep them there the way they are, because they've already been decided. And so we can't reverse some of the laws that have been put on the books because the conservative judges, or people we put in as conservative judges, say they won't rule them down. So we're stuck with those laws, even putting conservative judges in power. Now, I don't know what they'll do if a new case comes up, but it sounds like they're going to stick with the old laws. So we can't change the laws. We can't change the old laws. So a liberal judge gets in there, makes a bad ruling that's totally against the Constitution. And now a conservative judge gets in there and says, oh, I'm going to keep the bad ruling. I'm not going to mess with it. So now we end up with unconstitutional laws on the books that nobody will change. Wonderful. And so, anyways, unaccountable judges and magistrates and power without a balance. And that's out of balance. So our judges are out of balance. It's been that way for a long time. There's nothing to bring home in the balance. We tried with putting a conservative judge in there. The conservative judge, I hope, in the future will rule conservatively, but he may not, because he has current law on hand that's liberal law, already on the books. So he might just continue that trend because it's already on the books, right? So that's nuts. So then the power without a balance. So you have unaccountable judges that nobody seems to want to bring them into accountability. And nobody can do that because the Supreme Court is the top court of the land. And I mean, they can do it. The Congress can throw a judge off the court. But the Republicans are inept to do that. probably because they're afraid the Democrats will do that to a Republican judge. So they don't mess with that. And I wouldn't be surprised in the future that does happen to a Republican judge. I wouldn't even be surprised. And the Republicans probably will never do it to a Democrat judge, even though they are completely destroying the Constitution itself. They'll let it happen. Horrible, shameful. So that's a sorrowful circumstance for any people to fall into. So this is from Cato, letters from 1725. This statement that I just read for you is from the Cato letters of 1725, which were put in a book, eventually ended up in the United States in the hands of George Washington, in the hands of Benjamin Franklin, in the hands of our revolutionary leaders, and it was widely read by Americans that supported the Revolutionary War. And this is one of the statements in the book that I just read to you, a warning to those who were around at the time when they were making our Constitution. They read this book heavily, and it was quoted in the newspapers a lot about some of these observations about government that was written. And Cato was a fictitious name, and so this guy wrote a long time ago in newspapers back then about his government and what he observed, what he felt was wrong with their government back then, and what should be. And back then, you got to realize that if you printed something bad, the king didn't like it, you'd get your head chopped off or murdered. And so that's why they put the Cato. And Cato is referring to the Greeks, the Romans. They had a form of government. And so he refers to that, to them, Caesar. Talks about Caesar in there, and Brutus, and all that, which did have a form of Republican government. I don't think it's the exact same as the one we have today, but they improved on it. So anyways, that is what is bad. So if you have too much force that the president's had, you have an unaccountable magistrate, and you have no balance for the magistrate, you're in a very problem circumstances for any people to fall into. So that's why we have crappy laws. That's why the police can just go out and shoot anybody they want, however they want. That's why we have crazy laws on can't burning wood on certain days, and why we have these emission controls on our cars that don't really work. That's why global warming people can have a nuclear power plant that pollutes the environment and is killing people, but it's carbon free. It may destroy the entire planet and everybody will be dead, but it's carbon free, folks. Unbelievable. That's right. You don't know this, but they release nuclear waste into the atmosphere on a nuclear power plant all the time. Stuff that will last 1 billion years, and you don't even know it. That's another video you'll have to see of mine. Unbelievable. But it's carbon free. And it destroys the environment. Big, huge pits of leach pits to get the uranium out. But it's carbon free, folks. Mountains and mountains and mountains of waste buried under the ground. Like I said, some of it 1 billion years. That's half-life, 1 billion years. And half-life means it will be radioactive for 1 billion years. Half of it will be that way, and then the other half will be another 1 billion years. And then it degrades into something else that lasts who knows how long, another 1,000,000 years before you can touch it. Okay, and that's being spewed into the atmosphere. So when you're flying in a plane, it's getting on the plane. You get up and touch the plane, it's getting on you. Wonderful, huh? Oh my goodness. So anyways, too much force in the hands of one man, or too few and accountable magistrates, and we got both. And a power without balance, which we have now. Sad days. Let me know what you think. Like, share. Please put down in there, subscribe. Thank you.